Rework is not your typical business book. It's a manifesto for a new way of thinking about work and business. It throws out the old rule book, the one filled with outdated notions and rigid structures, the one that says you need a big plan and lots of money to get started. This book challenges that very idea. Jason Fried and David Heinemeier Hansen, the authors, say this is rubbish. They believe that these myths hold you back. They built a successful company, Basecamp, by doing things differently, by breaking the so-called rules. They want you to do the same. They want you to question everything you've been told about business. One big myth is that you need to be working all the time. The hustle culture glorifies long hours and constant grind. Rework says this leads to burnout and decreased productivity. It's a path to exhaustion, not success. It's better to have focused work hours and then rest. Quality over quantity is the key. This helps you be more creative and effective in your work. Rest fuels innovation. Another myth is that you need to please everyone. Trying to cater to every demand dilutes your focus, but trying to make everyone happy is a recipe for disaster. It spreads you too thin and leads to mediocrity. It's better to focus on your ideal customer, serve them exceptionally well, and let go of the rest. The book also says planning is guessing. Long-term plans are often just fantasies. You can't predict the future. The market changes, and so do circumstances. So don't waste time on a long business plan. Instead, be adaptable and ready to pivot. It's more important to start doing. Action leads to learning and progress. You'll learn more by taking action than by planning. Real-world experience is the best teacher. Rework encourages us to challenge these old ideas. It pushes us to think differently and innovate. It's a fresh perspective on building a business, one that values creativity, flexibility, and authenticity. Most people see limitations as a bad thing. They feel restricted and believe that constraints hinder their potential. But Rework says constraints can make you more creative. When you are forced to work within boundaries, you start thinking outside the box. When you have limited time, money, or resources, you have to be resourceful. These limitations push you to prioritize and focus on what truly matters. You have to find clever solutions. Constraints force you to innovate and come up with ideas that you might not have considered otherwise. Think of it like this. Having too many choices can be paralyzing. When faced with endless options, decision-making becomes overwhelming. When you have fewer options, it's easier to decide and move forward. Constraints simplify the decision-making process, allowing you to act more decisively. The authors use their own company as an example. They show how constraints can lead to success. Basecamp started as a side project. It wasn't their main focus, and they had to work with limited resources. They had limited time and resources. This scarcity forced them to be creative and efficient in their approach. This forced them to be focused and efficient. They had to make every moment and every resource count. They had to make every line of code, every design choice count. There was no room for waste or inefficiency. And guess what? It worked. Their constraints didn't hold them back. Instead, they propelled them forward to success. Don't wait for the perfect moment to launch your product or service. It will never come. Rework says to launch early and launch often. The idea is to get feedback from real users as soon as possible. This helps you improve your product much faster. It's better to have something out in the world, even if it's not perfect. You can always make changes and improvements based on feedback. The authors believe that done is better than perfect. Don't be afraid to put your work out there. Get it in front of people. You'll be surprised by the valuable insights you'll receive. Rework is full of practical advice on how to be more productive. It challenges conventional wisdom and encourages you to rethink the way you approach work. Instead of following outdated methods, it offers fresh perspectives that can help you achieve more with less effort. One key message is to focus on what's truly important. By identifying your top priorities, you can allocate your time and energy more effectively. This means less time wasted on trivial tasks and more time spent on activities that drive real results. Don't get bogged down in busy work. It's easy to feel productive when you're constantly busy, but not all tasks are created equal. Busy work can drain your energy and leave you feeling exhausted without making any real progress. Identify the tasks that will have the biggest impact and prioritize those. By focusing on high-impact activities, you can achieve more significant results in less time. This approach helps you work smarter, not harder. The book also talks about the importance of saying no. Learning to say no to non-essential tasks and distractions is crucial for maintaining focus and productivity. It allows you to protect your time and energy for what truly matters. It's easy to get caught up in saying yes to every opportunity. While it might seem beneficial to take on more, it can quickly lead to overload. Overcommitting can dilute your efforts and reduce the quality of your work. But this can lead to overwhelm and burnout. When you're stretched too thin, it's hard to maintain high performance. Burnout not only affects your productivity, but also your overall well-being. It's better to be selective and focus on what aligns with your goals. By being intentional with your commitments, you can ensure that your efforts are directed towards meaningful and impactful work. Another productivity tip is to embrace simplicity. A clutter-free environment can enhance your focus and efficiency. Simplifying your workspace and workflow can lead to clearer thinking and better results. Complexity is the enemy of progress. When tasks and processes are overly complicated, they can slow you down and create unnecessary stress. Streamlining your work can help you move forward more smoothly. Keep things as simple as possible, both in your work and in your life. By reducing complexity, you can focus on what truly matters and achieve a greater sense of satisfaction and accomplishment. Like, subscribe, and share.